2025 has truly been the year of AI. Good or bad is another thing, but people have been using Gemini, Claude, DeepSeek, and ChatGPT as search engines and chatbots and God knows what else. I thought it would be a fun experience to see which AI ranks, which movies in what categories. If you like such videos, comment down below and so we can make more of these, as I have a ton of topics I would love to cover. Today, we will take these 4 most popular AI and see which movies they rate as the top 10 of the 2010 decade. So, I went ahead and gave a simple prompt to each AI, which was to tell me the top 10 movies of the 2010 decade. No bias, no bullshit, no other info. What came up in the list might surprise you. Now, before I share the entire lists from each AI with you and discuss, I think you should see this. These are the movies which were in multiple AI lists starting from Parasite. This movie was interestingly, although unsurprisingly, in every single list. All the AIs gave Parasite at some point, with ChatGPT ranking this as number 1, Gemini as number 2, DeepSeek as number 5, and Claude as number 7. Honestly, we are off to a great start. Parasite won 4 Oscars.
Parasite.
Every person I know who saw the movie was as impressed as I was. Now, moving on to the next overlap, it was Mad Max Fury Road. Another great shout, included in all the lists. ChatGPT ranked this movie as number 3, Gemini as number 1. Quite audacious, I must say. DeepSeek as number 2, and Claude as number 3. If we average it out, I believe this will come as number 1 because of how high each AI ranked this one. This was a blockbuster movie critically and box office-wise both, winning 6 Oscars and
Margaret Sixel, Mad Max Fury Road,
grossing over $380 million. Now, moving on to the next overlap, it was Moonlight, another unanimous critical favorite that appeared across almost every list. ChatGPT ranked this movie as number 4, Gemini as number 3, DeepSeek also as number 3, and Claude ranked it extremely high at number 2. If we average this out, Moonlight comfortably sits near the very top of the decade. A deeply intimate and quietly devastating film, it went on to win 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and is widely regarded as one of the most emotionally honest films of the 2010s. Now, moving on to the next overlap, it was The Social Network. This is a movie I have personally watched hundreds of times. At that time, I was a massive fan of people like Zuck, Elon Musk, and others. This movie is one of the most interesting cases here. ChatGPT ranked it at number 2, Gemini placed it at number 4, and DeepSeek ranked it boldly at number 1, making it their top film of the decade. Claude was the only one to leave it out entirely. Averaging these rankings, it still lands extremely high overall. This film defined the modern era of cinema with razor-sharp dialogue and iconic score, and a story that captured the birth of the digital age. It won 3 Oscars and has only grown in reputation over time. Now, moving on to the next overlap, it was Get Out. Again, a personal favorite, and oh, am I glad that AI also ranks it high. A rare horror film to achieve near-universal acclaim. ChatGPT ranked it at number 8, Gemini at number 5, DeepSeek at number 4, and Claude also at number 5. Averaging these out places Get Out firmly in the upper tier of the decade. A cultural phenomenon as much as a genre film, it blended social commentary with genuine tension, went on to win the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay, and redefined what modern horror could achieve. Now, moving on to the next overlap, it was Whiplash. I personally loved the movie. I believe Miles Teller absolutely nailed the role, while J.K. Simmons took it to the next level. An Oscar-winning movie, one of the most divisive yet fascinating entries here. ChatGPT ranked it at number 10, Gemini at number 9, but Claude placed it at number 1, their top film of the entire decade. DeepSeek did not include it in their list. Even with that split, the average still puts Whiplash high enough to be undeniable. Relentless, nerve-shredding film driven by 2 powerhouse performances, it won 3 Oscars and remains one of the most intense character studies of the 2010s. Now, moving on to the next overlap, it was Boyhood, a unique case in filmmaking history. ChatGPT only mentioned it as an honorable mention, while Gemini ranked it at number 8, DeepSeek at number 6, and Claude also at number 8. When averaged, Boyhood sits comfortably in the middle of the overlap rankings. Shot over 12 years, the film became a technical and artistic milestone, earning widespread critical acclaim and solidifying itself as one of the most ambitious cinematic experiments of the decade. Now, moving on to the next overlap, it was La La Land. This one appeared on fewer lists, but where it did show up, it ranked high. ChatGPT placed it at number 9, while Claude ranked it at number 4. Gemini and DeepSeek left it out. Even so, its impact is undeniable. A modern musical that resonated globally, La La Land became a massive box office success, won 6 Academy Awards, and remains one of the defining romantic films of the 2010s. It is one of the most successful movies when it comes to critical acclaim, with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone taking a lot of the credits. Now, when it comes to movies that did not overlap and were unique in each AI's lists, let's discuss those. For ChatGPT, the unique movies were There Will Be Blood, which it ranked at number 5, and Her, which it ranked at number 7. Both of these were critically acclaimed. But there is one problem with ChatGPT. While we were using the latest model, it still included There Will Be Blood, which came out in 2007 and does not belong to the 2010s. When I discussed this with the AI, it straight up admitted that it did knowingly and was trying to get away with it. In my personal opinion, that alone should disqualify ChatGPT's credibility and whatnot. When it comes to Her, it is a good choice to be added and well-deserved. When it comes to Gemini's unique picks, there are 2 12 Years a Slave and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. 12 Years a Slave is placed at number 7, while Spider-Man is at number 10. I think both of those are great picks, and I like how it placed an animated movie this high. 12 Years a Slave won 3 Oscars, and Spider-Man won 1 as well. Personally, I like Gemini a lot, and it reasons quite well. Hard to argue with either choice. When it comes to DeepSeek's unique picks, there are 4. Roma, The Master, Lady Bird, and Inside Llewyn Davis. Roma is placed at number 7, and its 3 Oscar wins really solidify its standing as a modern masterpiece. The list then rounds out with some heavy-hitting art house cinema, featuring The Master at number 8, Paul Thomas Anderson's dense, psychological study of post-war trauma that earned 3 acting nominations for its lead cast. At number 9 is Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig's sharp and heartfelt coming-of-age story that secured 5 Oscar nods. Finally, Inside Llewyn Davis takes the 10th spot, a melancholic Coen brothers journey through the 1960s folk scene that famously won the Grand Prix at Cannes. I think those are all incredibly sophisticated picks, and I like how it prioritized more artistic and character-driven cinema for the end of its list. Personally, I do not use DeepSeek much, but I like its results here. Hard to argue with those choices. When it comes to Claude's unique picks, there are 3. The Shape of Water, Ex Machina, and Hereditary. The Shape of Water is placed at number 6, and its massive 4 Oscar haul, including Best Picture, really justifies its high position as a peak achievement in fantasy filmmaking. The list then dives into 2 of the most discussed genre films of the decade, Ex Machina at number 9 and Hereditary at number 10. Ex Machina is a brilliant claustrophobic sci-fi thriller that famously pulled off a major upset by winning the Oscar for Best Visual Effects, beating out massive blockbusters like Star Wars. At the final spot, Hereditary stands as a modern horror landmark, widely praised for Toni Collette's powerhouse performance and Ari Aster's haunting direction. I think these are incredibly bold and sophisticated picks, and I like how it prioritized high-concept sci-fi and horror for the tail end of its list. Personally, I find Claude's reasoning quite sharp, and its appreciation for genre-defining films here is impressive. Hard to argue with those choices. Here are the complete lists. Before we look at the differences, we have to look at the consensus. For specific films appeared on almost every single list. These are arguably the absolute top tier, because they transcended the individual programming of every AI model we tested. Mad Max, Fury Road, the action masterpiece. Parasite, the social satire. Moonlight, the poetic landmark. Get Out, the cultural phenomenon. If you haven't seen these four, the AI consensus says, start there. Where things get interesting is in the unique picks. Each AI revealed a distinct personality through its choices. 1. ChatGPT. The traditionalist ChatGPT's list is built on massive, sweeping narratives and human connection, featuring romantic favorites like her and La La Land. However, it made the biggest blunder of the experiment. It included There Will Be Blood, a masterpiece, yes, but it was released in 2007. It proves that even the most famous AI can prioritize fame over factual accuracy. 2. Gemini, the cultural historian. My own selections leaned into films that changed the industry. By including 12 Years a Slave and Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, Gemini prioritized movies that either redefined historical narratives or completely reinvented a visual medium like animation. 3. DeepSeek, the hardcore cinephile. DeepSeek is the indie king of the bunch. It skipped the big blockbusters for highbrow, director-driven cinema. Picks like The Master, Inside Llewyn Davis, and Roma are the kind of critical darlings you'd find at the top of the film school syllabus. For Claude, the genre specialist Claude showed a unique appreciation for high-concept storytelling. It was the only model to highlight modern horror and sci-fi icons like Hereditary and Ex Machina, proving it values movies that take pulp genres and elevate them to high art. The final verdict: which AI won? So, who provided the best list? If you want accuracy and artistic depth, DeepSeek provided the most intellectual curation. If you want a list that respects modern genre bending, Claude is your winner. If you're looking for the most recognizable hits and industry milestones, Gemini is the way to go. As for ChatGPT, it's a great curator of taste, but you might want to fact-check its calendar before you start your marathon. But now I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments.